Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English with Tuna. Today's topic is something we've all probably dreamed about at least once. What I would do if I won the lottery. It's a question that's fun to think about, but it also reveals a lot about our values, our priorities, and even our fears. So sit back, relax, and join me on this thought experiment. Because today, I'm going to walk you through what I would honestly do if I suddenly became a millionaire overnight. Part 1. The emotions of winning. Let's imagine it. I wake up, I check my ticket, and the numbers match. All of them. I've just won the lottery. My first reaction? Total disbelief. I would probably check the numbers 10 times, clean my glasses, and check again. Then comes the adrenaline rush, that mixture of shock, excitement, and confusion that floods your entire body. I would feel overwhelmed, maybe even a bit numb. But underneath that excitement, I know a storm of questions would begin to form in my head. Who should I tell? What if people start treating me differently? What if I lose it all? The truth is, winning the lottery doesn't just give you money. It gives you responsibility, attention, and pressure, all at once. That's why the very first thing I'd do is nothing. I would stay calm, give myself time to think clearly, and not rush into any decisions. Part 2. Staying grounded. The second step for me would be to stay grounded. I wouldn't quit my job immediately. I wouldn't post about it on social media. I'd try to keep my routine as normal as possible, at least for a while. Why? Because when something life-changing happens, your brain needs time to catch up. And because rushing into big decisions when your emotions are high, whether it's joy or fear, is a dangerous move. I would also talk to professionals, maybe a financial advisor, a lawyer, and a tax expert. I'd want to understand how to manage this wealth wisely and how to protect myself from bad decisions or even scams. A lot of lottery winners go bankrupt within a few years. Why? Because they didn't have a plan and they didn't know how to say no. I don't want to be one of them, so staying grounded would be one of my top priorities. Part 3. Taking care of my family. After taking care of the logistics, the next thing I do is think about my family. Because to me, there's no point in having a lot of money if you can't use it to improve the lives of the people you love. I'd pay off my parents' debts, if they had any. I'd buy them a comfortable house in a quiet neighborhood, close to nature. I'd make sure they never had to worry about medical bills or retirement. For my siblings, I'd support their education, help them pursue their passions, or start businesses, whatever they dreamed of doing. But I would also be careful. I wouldn't just hand out large sums of money to everyone. I would set up long-term funds or support systems, not quick cash, because I believe real help should be sustainable, not temporary. Part 4. Investing in myself. Now let's talk about something people often forget after winning money: yourself. Yes, it's tempting to think only about others, but I believe that taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. So what would I do? First, I'd take a long break, maybe travel for a few months. Not in a luxury way, not just 5-star hotels and fancy resorts. I'd travel with purpose, go to places that inspire me, challenge me, or teach me something new. I'd visit countries I've always dreamed of, maybe Japan, Iceland, or New Zealand. Then I'd invest in learning. I'd take courses I never had time for in psychology, filmmaking, philosophy. I'd go to writing retreats, meditation camps, or creative workshops. Because the most valuable investment is not in stocks or real estate, it's in your mind and skills. And lastly, I'd take care of my health, physically and mentally. I'd hire a personal trainer, see a nutritionist, go to therapy if needed. Because what's the point of being rich if you're not well enough to enjoy it? Part 5. Giving back to society. This is where things get deeper. Yes, I'd want to enjoy the money. Yes, I'd want to help my loved ones. But beyond that, I'd want to create real impact. I believe that wealth without purpose is just noise. So I'd ask myself, what causes matter to me? What kind of world do I want to help build? Maybe I'd start a foundation for underprivileged children, especially those who lack access to quality education. Or I'd fund mental health initiatives in low-income communities. Or support environmental projects that restore forests or oceans. And I wouldn't just donate once. I'd work closely with organizations to make sure the impact is real, long-term, and empowering. Because charity isn't about making yourself feel good, it's about making others' lives better in a way that lasts. Part 6. Building a meaningful life. Having money doesn't guarantee happiness. It gives you freedom, comfort, and choices, yes, but meaning still has to be earned. So I'd ask myself, now that I don't have to work for survival, what would I work for? And I think the answer is creating. I'd write more, teach more, and maybe even produce a documentary or podcast series. I'd use my time and money to build things that didn't exist before, things that could help others, inspire others, or connect people. I'd spend more quality time with friends. Not just dinner at fancy places, but deep conversations, creative projects, shared travels. Because in the end, human connection is more valuable than any possession. And I'd still live simply. Yes, maybe a nicer house. Yes, maybe more convenience. But I wouldn't lose touch with what matters. Because once you start measuring your worth by what you own, you lose who you are. Part 8. The bigger picture. Sometimes I wonder, why do we love imagining lottery wins so much? I think it's because it gives us permission to dream. It takes away the limits, the stress, the fear, and suddenly we can imagine our best lives without restrictions. But here's the twist. You don't have to win the lottery to start living a more intentional life. You can still give, you can still grow, you can still create joy. Yes, maybe on a smaller scale, but maybe that's all you need. Because in the end, money is just a tool. And like any tool, it depends on how you use it. So, what would you do if you won the lottery? Would you travel the world, build a school, start a dream business? Would you stay quiet or go public? Whatever your answer is, remember, you don't need millions to start living meaningfully. All you need is clarity, courage, and consistency. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please share it with a friend, leave a review, or tell me your thoughts on social media. This is English with Tuna, and I'll see you in the next episode. Take care and keep dreaming.